afternoon, Sia. Good afternoon, Rassie. Hope you guys are well. Just a question for Rassie. Rassie, we've seen the late change of Jasper Wiese obviously pulling out and Kwagga going to 8. Do you not feel that this was an opportunity perhaps to give Evan Roos maybe a chance at 8? Seeing as he's an out and out 8 way and Kwagga's more of a flanker than an 8-man. Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of opinion, for us. Kwagga is also out at 8. He played really well at 8 and it's done well for us at 8. And I think throughout his career, and when we train, he's definitely our second choice 8. When it comes after Jasper and when Dwayne was involved, it was touch and go, and Kwagga just covered a lot of positions. So this is a late change. We actually hope that Jasper would pass the criteria and all the concussion HIA, sets of rules that which there are. I think we're probably one of the first countries that was informed that by World Rugby with the new protocol that is category 1, and we were hoping he was going to pass. He looked really good. So with the change so late, a guy like Dion just makes more sense to us. And who knows the French culture and the way they play and has played a lot against them. Yeah, so Ivan has been with us for a while now. He deserves a chance somewhere. But I don't think we must forget how well Dion fully played also. And also has only had 2 test caps or so. And it was also a realistic option to take to the World Cup next year in both positions. But yes, we did consider
We
that.
lost you there for a while. Yes, I can hear you now. Now you're back with us. Please carry on. Yeah, you start from. I lost that. You could start from the top. You could start just to remind us what are you seeing in terms of. You said it is true that the prevalence is very high.
Hi guys, ENCA, please put off your microphone. Thank you. Percy? Yeah, I didn't know. No. Percy?
I don't get allemaal gemoed.
Ashfaq?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're well there in Marseille or Toulon. I don't know where you are at the moment, but yeah, just Sia. Firstly, after what happened last week, I'm sure you guys would have felt that you could have won the game and you had opportunities. And now you're playing the French in their own backyard ahead of them hosting the World Cup next year. How important is getting a victory as opposed to improving the performance, or does it go hand in hand?
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand, and obviously for us, we just want to make sure that we play like we plan to play in the week, and I think the biggest thing was we keep on going to that. We're creating all of these opportunities, but yeah, this weekend we've got a very good plan, and we want to win. It's a big game. We always want to win in a Springbok jersey. And for momentum going forward, it's also going to make a difference for the team. We're trying to build for the next, well, from last week already, it didn't go our way. But it's going to be important, to play them here. It's going to be the same atmosphere next year. So yeah, it'll be good to test all of us as a group, and if we are able to take the kind of pressure that we're going to feel on Saturday.
Rassie, just on that as well, in terms of finishing opportunities, it was an issue in that last championship game. I know you guys were chasing the game with a bonus point, but last week as well, it's like you get to the 22, you get in the red zone, and then just there's a knock on a wrong pass of decision making. What do you think can be done to sort of change that and get those tries that you actually deserve based on how the guys are playing?
Yeah, Adnan, it's good to talk to you also. Yeah, I think the first thing, it's definitely not nerves or pressure that we put on the guys. I think, the skill sets we get from where they play all over the world, and even going to the kicking game, I hear a lot of people saying, get a kicking coach, get a kicking coach, but you get a guy in with us. Sorry, I'm answering another question, but I want to tie it into that one. We get a guy with us. We're lucky 10 games sometimes if a guy plays most of the games. And then the other 42 weeks of the year is with his provincial or his franchise kicking coach. So to try and change the guy's kicking style when he's with us doesn't really make a lot of sense. Obviously, we do also work on a lot of fundamentals, which include exactly what you're saying there to finish opportunities. I guess that's the negative that we didn't. You're 100% right. I guess the positive is with all the things that went wrong and having 3 fly-offs, being injured, and Damien having some responsibility and going through those pressure situations, and the same with Cheslin and so on. And this weekend with Mani, with kicking and with finishing opportunities. The only way you get it right at this level, as you saw last night with the SA team, the moment you put on that jersey, there's extra pressure, there's new expectations, and the guys only learn through experience. The nice thing is, we know we're going through things now the same that we did in 2018. Only difference is we're 4 in the world, 3 in the world. We've got probably more World Cup league points, and we probably know that that Irish team who was #1 is in our pool, and there was a chance that we could have beaten them. So we work on all those things. But the nice thing before a World Cup, we almost have like a pre-season to work really hard on fundamentals. At this stage, you trust that you get a certain skill set, and we as coaches must give them confidence in the plan and help them to finish those opportunities which we did create. So confidence and repetition, I guess that's the only way.
Dylan?
Thanks, Zina. Good afternoon, guys. Hope you're both well. Just a question for Rassie, please. Rassie, how important is it going to be that you guys handle the France kicking game on Saturday? Obviously, they've improved quite a lot in that aspect under Floxeliers. I think they kicked the most in the Six Nations as well, or they were up there. Just how important is that aspect going to be on Saturday?
Yeah, they kick the most and they won the Six Nations. You spot on with that stat. They definitely kick the most and they won the Six Nations. So on that is, I think Flock is just a kicking technique coach. I'm not sure if he's doing the kicking game actually or if it's Sean Edwards. I think it's Sean, but Flock is an excellent kicking coach. I do think he works with the franchises. I'm not sure. I don't think he'll change the guy's technique within a French setup, but certainly makes them do repetitions like Zwandile is doing with our guys here, and the same with Felix in certain areas. So no, handling 33 kicks, which they kick, and being #2 in the world and winning the Six Nations, they certainly have a really, really good kicking game. And yes, yeah, probably we will have to handle that. But we've got our plans, but it's always difficult to play against a team who's got a really good kicking game, as you can see with their results, where they're currently in the world.
Ross?
Thanks, Zina. How's it, guys? Sia, do you think that with the SAA loss this last night, coupled with your guys' loss against Ireland, do you think that adds a bit of extra pressure to you guys to, get the win this weekend? And then also, with France, pulling out all the stops at the moment in the build-up to the World Cup, they're making it a big spectacle at the stadium. And, it's going to be quite a cauldron tomorrow night with all the fans there and everything. Do you think it's a good experience for you guys in the build-up to the World Cup to get an experience of how it's probably going to be like next year, and also when you might face them in the pool, not the pool stages, the knockouts?
Yeah, the second one, I think, it is good. It will be good for all of us. I mean, especially for guys who've never played in a World Cup to see what it will be like, to get that kind of experience. And I think, latching on what Coach Rassie says, we all getting these experiences now, especially for guys who haven't had it before. It will be really good for them to see what it will be like next year, and the type of how big the game is. It's number 4 and number 2 in the world. There's nothing better for some of the guys. Some of the guys will never get to experience anything like this. And when us losing, we always want to win every weekend. It's always a pressure situation every weekend. It's never just because we lost now. Every game we want to win. Every game we want to play well. We want to make the people proud back at home. And because we've done so well in the past that people expect us to do well. So, and we want to do well as well. And so it's never just because the SAA lost or we lost last week. Of course, there's more pressure, but it's always pressure for us all the time. But that's why we do what we do, and our preparation gives us the comfort and clarity that we can do it.
Mr. P.
Zin, ek sê vir baie dankie. Goeiemiddag, good afternoon gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Rassie. Rassie, jammer om die vraag vir jou te herhaal, net in Afrikaans gevind asseblief, Rassie. Hoekom het julle ter 11 ure besluit om hierdie verandering te maak, meneer? Het julle as SA Rugby nie dit of liefs die Springbok het nie voorsien dat julle speler vir 10 dae op die kantlyn moes wees nie?
Nee, ons het dit nie voorsien nie. Ons natuurlik het ons almal met die konkussie of HII-protokol is dit die eerste keer dat ons onder ons het almal dit geteken, almal dit verstaan, maar volgens ons het ons gedink Jasper het 'n baie realistiese kans en daar was baie mediese kennis en ondersoeke ingewin en tot en met gister het ons nog gedink Jasper moet 'n goeie kans want of sonder maar ek kan nie baie mag nie oor detail praat oor spelers se beserings nie, ek het nie die reg om dit te doen nie, ek is ook 'n mediese dokter hier, maar jy weet op die oomblik ek dink dis een van die min kere wat ek seker die eerste keer wat World Rugby ek dink en wat ons almal aanvaar wat hulle intree en bevestig dat hulle dit as 'n kategorie 1 konkussie sien. En so jy weet dit nog nooit voorheen gebeur en ek dink met die nuwe protokolle sal dit al hoe meer gebeur. So ons het heeltyd gewonder gaan hy reg wees, gaan hy nie reg wees nie en uiteindelik dan hoor mense aanvaar mense dit. So ja, dis nie ter 11 ure nie. Ons het regtig gehoop dat hy dit nog gaan pas.
Jan?
Thank you, Zina. Thank you. Thank you, Rassie. Thank you, Sia. Rassie, Sia can also answer this. We hear a lot about the learnings and the lessons and stuff. And we saw what happened in 2018. I mean, the guys also came out of a poor 2016, 2017, and then 2018 year into and then 2019 picked up. Do we place too much emphasis? And I know we always play, and Sia just said, we always play to win and we never play to lose. But do we place too much emphasis on these year-end tours? Or should it be rather seen as a learning curve and a building curve for a year ahead of a World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think when you compare where teams are in their seasons, it's always sometimes a benefit for us to have incoming tours where we are match fit and ready and everything ready to go, and then rugby championships is at a different time. But the year into for example, we plan our detail and our guys get back into the team. It can be injury, it can be resting them for a certain period. And then just something small can happen. It was nobody's fault. Where I think it was Ulster and Cardiff, I can't remember the other team, or Edinburgh, who withdrew the week before we went into camp. So we lost the 80 minutes into Eben there. We lost the 80 minutes into Sia in that specific game. A couple of guys. So then it makes sure, normally in my experience, your first game at tour a little bit. Not 100% sure how the guys will all click, and of course they haven't really played the previous weekend, and we thought they would play. But no, look, Ireland really peak at the right times. They peak. I think in 2018 they were actually also ranked number 2, and we were really nervous going into that World Cup. And then they had a tough pool to get out to. We might have played them in the quarterfinals. So we fully understand that anything can happen the year just before World Cup. But we just don't know that the things that we're trying to do on and off the field certainly has a relevance in the next year. But it's not the determining factor. It has relevance, but it's not the determining factor of how things will pan out in the World Cup year itself.
Last question online is Ashfaq.
Thanks, Zina. Just one for Sia and a quick one for Rassie. Sia, last week you said that the breakdown is going to be the key battle that can determine the result against Ireland. France probably play a different style. What would you say this week is the main area for you guys to win? And then for Rassie, just in terms of the goal kicking, I know Chisholm's going to be responsible this week. Last week we saw Damien was taken away from the kicking after he missed one and he kicked one over. Just a thinking with Chisholm, going with Chisholm this week instead of Damien?
This weekend, probably think for sure physicality.
Yeah, and then on the goal kicking, I think you must sort of just to explain it, and I hope this comes across the right way. There's some guys, I don't know if you've ever seen, but that at sometimes when Mornay Steyn plays, Smith is kicking for goals. I've seen many times that when Elton Jantjies was playing, what's this flyer's name? He kicked for Paul. So sometimes there's small little things. It can be a dip, it can be kicking style. It's certainly not that we go in the game and say, hey, you're kicking bad, we're taking you off, the other guy's kicking. I mean, it's a considered measured thing where the guys agree, and normally when the changes happens on that field, it's not us as the coaches who decide who kicks now, who doesn't kick. We don't decide who they kick to the touchline, or don't they kick to the touchline with penalty. So it's actually confidence, rhythm. It might be a small little niggle sometimes, so definitely we don't tell a guy you're kicking bad, you're not the kicker today, so it's more of a as adults working together and deciding what is the best. And hopefully on Monday when Cheslin slots, I would say 5 out of 5, we all will be happy and say yes, it was a good decision.
Thank you, guys. We take now questions from the floor. And then, yeah, we'll keep the recording on and we'll send the recording shortly after. Any questions this side?
Yeah, you mentioned the physicality. You taking from the French forwards. I remember the game 4 years ago. It was already very, very physical. Even though the whole pack has changed in the French team, what makes them so special and able maybe to match your own physicality that's most of the time above your position team?
I would, yeah, it's physically from both teams, not just from them, because we also want to bring physicality. Well, I mean, I think they know what they're good at, what they're good at as a team, and I think they do that very well. And Coach Rassie always tells us it's test matches between our plan and their plan, their systems and all of that, and they know they plan very well, and they don't go away from it, and they are able to impose on other teams very well. And that's what obviously we had to study as a team. So we're gonna try and meet them in that. But we a generally physical team as well. So it's gonna be a good test tomorrow. Obviously with our tactics and their tactics, but I think the mauling and the scrumming is direct. It's gonna be yeah, all about who wants it the most tomorrow, and obviously the technical things.
Rassie, I know you want to win all your tests, but will it be a successful tour if the Boks can beat the Six Nations games?
Yeah, the first thing is we know the supporters, and I don't want to say it at all that supporters and you as a media, we had the hashtag Stronger Together theme always. We never go away from winning, so we always try to, when we do experiment and test teams with game plans or combinations in the team or kickers or I think in a way, if you look at our system currently, where we are when we next year gets to a position where there's 3 flyers out, we would have been in this position and tested this in a very tense environment in the end of year tour away from home against team number 1 in the world, number 2 in the world, play Italy who's beaten Wales. So a lot of the things that looks bad now is just people don't want to hear that you learn from that, but you get answers from that. And I some things you see works fantastically, and some things you just see as a total flop. And you don't want that come September next year in the World Cup. So, yeah, never go out to lose, always go out to win. But sometimes you see that works or that doesn't work, and sometimes that's really valuable come World Cup next year.
Yeah, it's a special occasion for Wayne Barnes. Thinking of it.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. But yeah, obviously we have a present for him because, yeah, there's not a lot of guys that can say they've have that achievement. So yeah, there will be.
Just to elaborate further on this, how many of I know that every tour comes with questions. how many of your questions have been answered so far about the tour? I mean, you faced Ireland, you got France weekend, and those probably again the teams that will probably determine where how far you will campaign those next year. So, with any questions that you may have had, how many have been answered?
Yeah, I think you must look at it this way. Not to be clever, anything, just to try and explain it. So you don't always get the answers, but you get what you know definitely does not work sometimes. And that sometimes is more helpful than getting the solution that you actually know, okay, we must try the next thing or the next plan. So sometimes you just see this specific way we did something or select a team or approach the breakdown or did something in the scrum or stop them all. You actually just see this is not the thing that we should do. And then it means try another thing, try something new. So I can't tell you percentage wise. Some things work brilliantly. I mean, again, I think it was a game of small margins against the world's #1 team. And, we are much better placed when we were in 2018. But being the world champions, we expected to beat teams like Ireland away from home. And the margin shouldn't be 3 points for them. People expect it to be 3 points for us. That we accept. But yeah, so I can't give you a percentage, but I know that doesn't do it.
One question for you. When Fabien Galtier took over for the French team, he decided not to pick any player older than 30. There was just one exception, I think, Bernard Leroux. As yourself, for a long time, you pick even new players way above their 30, like Skokbritz, Franstein, and now Deon. What's your own philosophy about this? And what about Deon? What was interesting about him for you?
Dion.
Yeah.
Dion Fourie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Fabian, when I think he was coaching Toulon, when I was going Munster, he came over to visit us, and we shadowed each other for a week in Limerick, and so going pretty well. We sat in all our meetings, we discussed game plans and stuff. So I know he's a left field thinker. He thinks of other plans, and that's a great example of him deciding not to pick guys over than 30. We don't necessarily go and say that. We go and say, are we okay in this position? Is there a proper first choice with a second choice who's also senior, who's pushing really hard in that position? And then hopefully there's a youngster who's experienced enough that comes through. So, and then in certain positions we feel in a World Cup of only 33 men, you sometimes just need somebody there who supports experience-wise, help creating the culture, and that's where I think a guy like Dion comes in. I'm not saying he's definitely going to the World Cup. There might be an injury, and other hooker might pass him, but he certainly fits that kind of. I'm fit. I'm still strong. I know all leagues. I know France well, the French well, the country well. I know the league well. And I can play two positions. And he's always fit. So, but still, we haven't picked the World Cup squad yet, but that is something that we will look at.
Rassie, what's your take on French team winning 11 tests in a row? Are they a more balanced side? Are they still playing with all that flair? They're kicking more, doing the driving more. Why are they winning all the time? Why are they doing well?
I heard Jake White saying how much Jock was under pressure when he lost 2 test matches, and then Jock won the last 3 test matches. Australia, and then Argentina. And I still think we were in with a chance when Rassie Ronald gave that time-wasting card. Then we almost were not having to chase the rugby championship, but just win the last game. And that's the small margins. I think there's small margins in the game. Sometimes it's a knock on here, sometimes the forward part there, which a player give. Sometimes it's a turnover line out. And I remember playing the French here on minute 81 last time. We were behind, and we won in minute 84. I remember the French playing Wales earlier this year, where the Wales were in that game right up until the end, and then the Wales lost to Italy. So I just think they are a team that believe a lot. Obviously, they kick a lot. We all know they're the team that kicks the most in the world of Tier 1 nations. There's no doubt about that. I mean, everybody who analyzed the game can go and see they kick the most. But that's not where it stops. It's they believe in what they're doing. They've got a great coach. Their players are young. They not a team who goes through ups and downs emotionally. You can see they steady when it goes well and when it goes bad. They're a well-balanced team with young guys who's leading their team. I think that makes them dangerous.
Yeah. What do you think about the equipment in Toulon, like Saint-Mayor or?
Oh, it's been amazing. Like being here, yeah, it's been great. We've really enjoyed it as a team. I think the hotel staff has really been amazing towards it, and obviously the people of the community have really been welcoming, and obviously the facilities are amazing and started to learn. And yeah, we're grateful and we say thank you so much to people to welcome us here with open arms and yeah, hopefully yeah, like it won't be the first time. Hopefully, if we as the players make the World Cup team, at least we've been here before. We've seen how it is and how the facilities are and how amazing the people are in the community.
Yeah, Cheslin is your friend for a long time, you know, as well. What makes you think he could be successful tomorrow with goal kicking duty?
Yeah, because he's worked hard on it, and I mean, he's got our backing, regardless what happens. You know, we know he's going out there to give his ultimate best, and the best thing for us as a team, we don't want to leave the results up to him. We wanna play well enough, you know, so that that doesn't become an issue. But like Coach said, there next year, this time he would have had so many people who are able to kick for poles, and we've been in the situation before. So he's playing there with no pressure on his shoulders at all from us as a team. If he misses, he can do something else great somewhere else. So there's always opportunities for him to do. Well, that's not going to be the first and the last thing that he's been looked at for us as a team. We just want him to play well, do like what he always does. And like Coach said, there's no pressure on anyone to do anything. So yeah, he'll be fine regardless what happens.
Got about 5 more minutes, so
It was for you to come here 1 year before the World Cup, get your bearings in the.
Yes, yes. You want to answer that?
Yes, South Afrikaans thing to get your bearings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on Afrikaans, South African.
You can take it.
I'll take it. I'm from the States. There's a lot of mechanical. Now to get our bearings. Now for us, it's when even in when we played in Japan, you know, we went over the previous year December and went to get used to how things get done and to have respect for the culture and how things work there. I think when people come to South Africa, it would be good if they understand our cultures and how we do things. You know, when we go to New Zealand, we make sure that we try and understand their cultures there. The same with the French. You know, we've got a lot of players that play here, not a lot, but there's quite a few who can speak French, who understand it, who's at the club here and our base is here. We just feel when you go to a country who hosts something, or even just in the rugby champions or anything, from right through from the crowds to the referees to the players, you know, you must you know, get do some effort to understand what's going on there, and then you'll be received better. You'll be more comfortable when you training and when you're playing, and we can just give compliments how things are working here from the airport where we check through right through to the hotel to the training sessions. First time we've gone to a training session by boat, which is unbelievable, and we all enjoy it. But tomorrow we know we'll have to find our bearings there as well.
questions, guys? Before we wrap up?
Yeah, when you look at France, years of what they've only got three players from the team, and the question was made about the fact that Fabien Gaultier hasn't picked up. But how have they changed?
The game plan has definitely changed. I think they make obviously they kick a whole lot more and they play in the right. If you look at their team, they don't play in their half at all. They save the energy to play in your half. So I think that's been working very well for them. And yeah, they've got a strong forward pack who can maul, who can scrum, and they've got guys who can kick for posts. I think the fullback that's injured now, they do those, you know, they have all those everything that you want in a team. But obviously I think we've evolved too. Now a lot of people might not see it, but we as a group can see it. And yeah, we're just looking forward to tomorrow to test ourselves against the number 2 team in the world. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a proper game, and yeah, I know it's going to be a great atmosphere, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.